Yes? Can I repeat? The recommittal text substantially alters the disincentive intention of the bill. It expects reusable plastics and plastic granules used in the manufacturing of multiple-use plastics. The recommittal would result in foregone revenue of $208 billion that was expected from the provision passed by the 11th Parliament. Recommendation on our Right Honourable Speaker and members. The proposed reconsideration should be rejected until a substantive and comprehensive study is undertaken to inform future policy positions and tax measures. Right Honourable Speaker and members, I implore you support this minority report. I beg to submit.
Thank you, Honourable. Second minority. Honourable, you don't need to go into background and all that.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, and I'll try to be brief while bringing out the points, and I do thank you for this opportunity to present the minority. I want to thank you and the members of the 11th Parliament for standing firm on this matter, because it did come up 3 times in the 11th Parliament, and I had minority reports on all the 3 times. The 2 times the House took my position, and it's only last year that my position was not taken, and we are back at it again. If my position had been taken, I think we wouldn't be here today, Right Honourable Speaker. This minority report is signed by me and Honourable Gilbert, Honourable Agaba Gilbert. The Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 was...
But whenever the report I have on record is signed by only you. Okay.
I signed the report and handed it over to the clerk for the other members to sign, and Honourable Agaba told me he is one of the members who signed. Maybe he can confirm that.
No, I just have one signature. That's why. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
So I don't want a member to be included in something he wasn't in. So just continue. That doesn't take away.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Right Honourable. The Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 was duly passed by this Honourable House after thorough consideration by the Committee on Finance and debate in plenary. The bill sought to strengthen environmental protection, broaden the tax base, and enhance domestic revenue mobilization by revising the excise duty regime on plastics. His Excellency the President has returned the bill to Parliament with proposed amendments to Clause 2E, especially substituting a new version of Item 11 on plastics. His Excellency the President, in his letter, is expressing concerns regarding the potential impact of the proposed excise duty changes on plastics, particularly the effect on manufacturing, employment, investment, and the readiness of the industry for alternatives. However, with due respect, it is important to note that the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development that originally proposed and defended the higher rate of 25% or US dollars 1,500 per ton, whichever is higher, in the bill that was passed by this House. Does this mean that the ministry misled both the House and the President on this issue? The President's proposed text maintains a low rate of 2.5% or 70 US dollars per ton, which is the same position captured in my minority report, which I presented to this House. And as this had been the view of most of the stakeholders that appeared before the committee, including Uganda Manufacturers Association. Secondly, the Ministry of Finance is now, through the returned version, effectively smuggling in more tax exemption under the guise of lowering taxes. This is where my minority is focusing, because in the minister's argument, and when you look at the President's letter, Right Honourable, they are talking about the rate, not the base. I want us to be clear on this and agree. In the President's letter, the proposed new Clause 2E effectively expands the exemptions of multiple-use plastics, particularly item 3 and 4, exempting pharmaceutical packaging and related granules. These carve-outs go beyond the narrow targeted exceptions in the version passed by this Parliament, and as it is in the current law. This approach risks significantly eroding the tax base and foregoing substantial revenue that Parliament intended for national development priorities, while weakening the environmental signal against single-use plastics. Right Honourable Speaker and members, the earlier documents submitted to the committee indicate that government expected to collect 208 billion from the past law. However, with the exemption created in the proposed amendment and by maintaining the rate at 2.5%, government will only collect 3 billion shillings. This means the government will be losing or foregoing 205 billion, which revenue forms part of the budget that is currently being implemented by government. Nevertheless, I agree with the President's proposed rate of 2.5% or $70 per ton. Additionally, the minority report sets out my divergent position on the tax exemption created under 3 and 4 by the President's proposal and the significant revenue loss that would result from this adoption. Part 2 summarizes the two positions. If you're keen members, I need you to compare the law as is, the bill that Parliament did pass, and the letter that the President returned. They are totally different. The President, in his justification, is only talking about the rate, but he's not talking about the new exemptions that are being created in the law. So Parliament's past version shows 25% or 1,500, whichever is higher. Then the broad scope covering single-use plastics, we expanded the scope. And then the limited targeted exemptions, we limited the exemptions. Then the President's proposed amendment, according to the letter that was returned, it reverts back to the old rate. It maintains a broader description of single-use plastics and introduces additional and expanded exemptions. The President's version effectively nullifies the core revenue enhancing and environmental objective of the bill. Part 3 talks about the exemption that is being created, and the Minister is silent about it. In his justification, he did not state anything to do with the new exemptions that are being brought in the law. Actually, before I Right Honourable Speaker and members, what you need to know is all plastics, according to this proposal, all plastics, almost the President. The other one is the plastic granules used in the manufacture of plastic products for packaging pharmaceutical products, and plastic products used in the packaging pharmaceutical products. Then there is the retention and slight rephrasing of existing exemptions for vacuum packaging, bags for food, juice, tea, coffee, and sanitary pads. These exemptions go beyond the narrow justified public health and essential use carve-outs already contained in the version of the bill sent to the President. They create loopholes that could be exploited through reclassification of products as multiple use of pharmaceutical packaging, hence eroding the tax base. By lowering the rate from 25% to $1,500 to 2.5% or 70 per ton, while simultaneously widening exemptions, the President's proposal substantially reduces both the rate and base at the same time. Revenue loss analysis. Right Honourable Speaker and members, adoption of the President's proposed new exemption 3 and 4 would result in a massive loss of domestic revenue. Under the old law, the new exempt plastics are paying taxes and contributing greatly to revenue. I respectively submit that the President might not be aware of this, as it is not mentioned anywhere in his letter. It is my considered view that the exemption 3 and 4 were smuggled into this amendment, and this was never part of the original bill. Additionally, in financial 2023-2024, the committee rejected the same exemptions.
No, Honourable, I just want, because you see, when we are on this floor, on the House of Record, and we are using words like smuggled, okay? It means something was agreed upon, then someone went behind the scenes and amended and all that. So I just want to get that properly.
Yes, Right Honourable.
Since it's a single person report. you can explain.
Right, Honorable, that's why I was explaining that we have a law in existence, and I have the compendium of the laws there. The definition of plastics is well laid out, and we did make sure it is clear and captures all plastics in the country, and they are paying taxes. So when the bill came, the Ministry of Finance brought a bill before Parliament. The bill was brought keeping our definition that we had passed, but had proposed new rates. It had significantly increased the rates to very high rates that were abnormal, and I declined. I made a minority and said we need to keep the rates. So the bill was passed with a definition, maintaining the definition covering all plastics. The bill went to the President for assent. The President now returns the bill, but in the letter that returns the bill, the President is talking about the rates and how the manufacturers complained about the high rates, the abnormal rates that Parliament had passed, which were not part of what Parliament proposed, because it's finance that proposed. Now in this letter, when you look down, when you look at the definition, it's completely changed, and it's not mentioned anywhere in the justification. And the justification the minister has put on record, it is nowhere, it's not anywhere in his justification. And right, Honorable, on the record, I think this matter came up, and those of us who were on the Committee of Finance, we know the lobbying that was involved in this matter.
No, now you've used the language which I was,
Yes.
my issue was
Yes.
smuggling,
Yes.
you know, yeah, just maintain that language.
Yes, so right, Honorable,
Okay?
there was a lot of lobbying in this matter, and we stood firm as the Committee on Finance. The manufacturers, I do not want to put their names on the record, but they are the big manufacturers making plastics in this country. And when they failed here, I think they passed behind and went and had an interaction with the Ministry of Finance to see how they can go around it. That is why I'm assuming that they smuggled it. Additionally, I'm back to my report. Additionally, in the financial year 2023-2024, the committee rejected these same exemptions in the bill that was brought that year. The bill that was passed by Parliament only also significantly broadens the base by explicitly bringing in many previously lightly and untaxed single-use plastic items. The combined effect of this would be to multiply higher revenue from the plastic sector compared to the current regime. Then I give an estimate revenue impact, and I think I'll skip that because it shows you the immediate and how much we expect to lose and how we are going to lose the money required to fund critical infrastructure, because it was part of what we passed as Parliament. Then I'm going to part 5, why Parliament's original position should prevail. The original position on the definition of plastics. We acknowledge the President's concern about potential cost pressures on manufacturers, employment, and readiness for alternatives. However, these concerns can and should be addressed through complementary measures rather than by abandoning the tax reforms. The environmental impact. Single-use plastics are a major driver of pollution, blocking drainage, environmental degradation. The high rates, this is about the environmental impact. Then go to revenue mobilization, and then I want to put emphasis on the fairness and equity. Right, Honorable Speaker, I think the clerk is taking your attention, but this is one of the areas which will show you why I believe that this matter was smuggled. Fairness and equity. Right, Honorable Speaker and members, one of the principles of a good tax system is equity and fairness. Indeed, in his letter, while giving his view about the income tax, the President states, this is the income tax that we previously dealt with. So while in his letter, the President states, in addition, the amendment creates an unjustified distinction between land-based casinos and operators conducting substantially similar gaming activities through online platforms. Both derive income from the same economic activity, and there is no justification for exempting one category while taxing the other. This is the same letter we are talking about. So why would the President then go ahead and create new exemptions and then exempt people from paying taxes. Yes, the president in the same letter is talking about fairness and equity. Right Honorable Speaker and members, many Ugandans are struggling with high taxes, and in these bills already introduce increments on essential commodities like fuel, sugar, and cement. Yet the same law will now be exempting the large manufacturers and investors from paying taxes. Exempting the large manufacturers and investors from paying taxes. This is not only unfair to majority of Ugandans, but it's a huge source. Honorable Musasi is sending me notes, but let me first finish my report on this matter before we can go into this. Right Honorable Speaker and members, many Ugandans are struggling with high taxes, and in these bills already introduce increments on essential commodities like fuel, sugar, and cement. Yet the same law will now be exempting large manufacturers and investors from paying taxes. This is not only unfair to majority of the Ugandans, but it's a huge source of revenue leakages. Revenue leakages is one of the biggest problems we have in our country as we lose trillions of shillings each year. This excise duty we are dealing with, there are clauses already that have increased taxes on fuel products, on cement, on sugar, on cooking oil. These clauses, we are not touching them because the president returned telling us to look at only the clause concerning plastics. And then the clause of plastics is now giving exemptions. Yet we have already increased taxes on Ugandans, which I believe is not fair, and there is no equity being implemented here. That is the main issue I wanted us to give more focus to. There is international alignment, mitigation of industry concerns, conclusion and recommendations. The President's proposed amendment to Clause 2E creates a new and expanded tax exemption that erodes the tax base and would cause substantial revenue loss to the consolidated fund. They reverse the progressive reforms passed by this House and undermine the efforts to address plastic pollution and strengthen domestic resource mobilization. I therefore recommend that, 1, this House amends the bill by lowering the rate from 25% or US$ 1,500 per ton to 2.5 or $70 per ton, whichever is higher, as proposed by the President. Retain the definition of plastics and what is being exempted from paying taxes under Clause 2E, as is in the bill that was passed by Parliament and as is in the current law. Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in consultation with the Uganda Revenue Authority and National Environmental Management Authority, develops and presents to this House within 90 days a comprehensive implementation and mitigation plan, including support to industry transition and smuggling measures and recycling incentives. 3, clear administrative guidelines be issued to prevent abuse of any justified exemptions. And under the justified exemptions, I think there was an error which was corrected: packaging for food, juice, tea, snacks, and bags for direct use in the manufacture of sanitary pads. I remain committed to a balanced approach that protects the environment, raises necessary revenue, and supports a just transition for Ugandan manufacturers and workers. However, the President's current proposal does not achieve this balance. I urge the honorable members to support this position and amend the definition of plastics and reduce the exemptions while keeping the rates low as proposed by the President. Right Honorable Speaker and members, I beg to submit.
So in short, you partially agree with the President?
On the rates.
On the rates.
On the definition,
Okay.
I have a proposal for
the
the definition.
you're saying we limit the exemption.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, right
And
Honorable.
to simplify it. Okay?
Ye-
Which ones are you saying, just to simplify it on the record, which ones are you saying we maintain and which ones are you saying we don't allow?
Right Honorable. they are very clear. I stated them out, part 3 and item 3 and 4. That is, because we are substituting the entire clause that covers excise duty on plastics, which is section 11 of the principal law. So section 11, my view is we delete part 3 in the proposed amendment under the exemptions, because part 3 says multiple use plastics and plastic granules used in the manufacture of multiple use plastics. This is being put under those that are being exempted from paying the tax. And then part 4, the plastic granules used in the manufacture of plastic products used in the packaging and of pharmaceutical and plastics used, because these are new clauses which are not there in the principal law, and they are not there in the bill that was brought to Parliament that we did pass and sent to the President for assent.
Yeah, thank you. But maybe for the record, Honorable Masaba, the President under Article 91 and Rule 149, when we are processing this, the President has powers to even propose the new, even propose wider, to widen the amendment. He's not as limited as us. So, and I don't want the President to do his work, then we start suspecting others. That language of suspicion is not good. When an officer is doing their work, now an officer can say, but I've never even met the President over this matter. How do you come and you start suspecting me? And it goes on record. Procedure, Honorable Makmot?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. I think on that very matter, I think it has been put on record that allegedly maybe the minister actually smuggled some provision that the committee had actually rejected through some lobbying. Yet, I think as you've stated, this could have come even from the President, could have come in other ways. But more importantly, this is, whatever is presented here is coming from a committee report, which was signed by members, as opposed to the minority. So we did not be proceeded right to actually expunge that from the record, if it is not substantiated, because it is the smuggling after committee has rejected is a very serious allegation. Thank you.
Now, honorable colleagues, parliaments all over the world, they are lobbied. Lobbying is not a crime. In fact, if you go to Congress, to Senate in the US, there are lobby offices, including universities. Honorable Javier and I were in Makerere. We found Michigan State University had a lobby officer at Congress to lobby. The problem is how you lobby, okay? So being lobbied, to me, is not a problem. But if you look at it negatively, so, but Honorable, I will guide the clerk and the Hansard team, okay? I've given them authority under Rule 38. Words which were bordering on imputing negativity on colleagues and the House, they should be expunged. Only those words. Otherwise, the substantive issues are very, very, very clear. I don't want us to affect the merit issues. Yes, Honorable Masaba?
Right Honorable, I do want to withdraw the word smuggling for this case, because I wanted to bring out clearly the matter, because that's why I quoted the President saying that there is no justification for exempting one category while taxing the other in the same letter. That is why I believe that maybe the President was not aware of what happened in the definition, because the definition, actually many colleagues didn't know that they were creating new exemptions. When we were in the committee, the matter that was being discussed was the rate. Why was the rate increased from whatever it was to what it was, and nothing was stated about the exemptions.
Thank you. The clerk has taken note of that answer team. They will clean up that part, have a very clear record. Honourable Minister for Finance, several issues raised from the two minority reports. No, honorable colleagues, I don't allow a debate before a minister clarifies, because you see, when he clarifies, he guides. Now, because a lot of issues have been raised, so it's very important for him to respond to the issues raised in the minority report, so that we can have a balanced debate. Try to talk and see if it's on. Yeah, I've allowed you, Honourable Minister, to use that side. Yeah. Yeah, don't mind. You remember last time General Gony. How does it feel speaking from that side?
Mr. Speaker, this is my first time. In my last 15 years, I have not been unprivileged to be on this side. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank my colleagues, mainly Honorable Karim, who has raised a number of issues on the excise duty. First, I am happy that he has withdrawn his earlier statement. On a personal note, Honorable Karim Masiaba is a good MP and who takes time to analyze our numbers. But from the onset, and he knows that me and him have always agreed that he needs mentorship in order to be the best he can be in future in this house. And I'm glad that he was quickly remorseful for his statement. Mr. Speaker, the revenue loss as a result of extended exemptions, which is only 7 billion, not as Karim stated. And also, the proposal, which Honorable Karim agrees with, of 2.5 or 70, will give us 60.06 billion in revenue. What am I trying to say is that we should not be so much worried that the proposal by the President, if supported, will result into significant revenue loss. Mr. Speaker, excise duty is a tax that affects, that is to the consumer of the product. And the concern of the President is that some of these items which were going to be affected by the tax are the inputs into production of other items. For example, the water tanks use these materials, the water pipes use these materials, and the other insulators. So, Mr. Speaker, in the nutshell, I am of the considered opinion that the President's proposal is in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, since we are a new house, let me state this, that the process of arriving at these decisions evolves. We can have a position today as government, as the ministry. But when new information comes, and another position can be formed. Mr. Speaker, at the time of passing the bill in April, there is information which was not available. And between passing the bill here and the time of assent, this information came and was brought to the attention of the President. When such information comes, you are not going to blame anybody that you didn't do the right job. The only issue is whether information comes and then you don't factor it. So, Mr. Speaker, both us who considered the bill first and the President who received the new information, we are both correct. And I want to beg that the House considers the new information that the President, that was brought to the attention of the President, so that we have a good law in place. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Javira from Makerere and Masaka, who is an accountant, has taken us through the evolution of the regime that affects plastics. Mr. Speaker, briefly, what I can say is that over the years, we have thought that we can control the destruction of the environment by using taxation as one of the options, which, in our considered opinion, has not worked. When you read the President's letter, he says we need to do a comprehensive study. And Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I want to pray that the House considers the opinion of the President as has been stated in the majority report of the committee. And at the same time, I want to undertake that by the time we come to April, I provide a comprehensive study to this House on this matter of plastics, because the President says the study needs to be done. And I want to agree with Karim, Honorable, who is saying the Ministry of Finance, in consultation with my own officers, URA, Honorable Karim, URA is part of the ministry. So we want to undertake that we shall go back and do a comprehensive study so that we are able to address the concerns which have come from the minority reports, both from Honorable Javira and Honorable Karim. And also I want to believe other members of the House, because Dr. Kefa is there, and the other colleagues, even from the time I was still a backbencher and chairperson of the committee, this matter, Mr. Bachenga, you remember, this matter used to come almost every year, and Honorable Kakoza. So let's undertake that we shall do a comprehensive study and come up with recommendations which both government and parliament can base on, to form decisions which will be agreeable to both of us. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Yeah, but I'm seeing members of the committee standing. No, they are not allowed. Members of the committee? Yeah. Yeah. So members of the committee are not allowed to be. Honorable Chirumira, you're a member of the committee. Yes, please. No, 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 no. No, please. Honorable, you signed the minority report. Okay? So, yeah, are you a member of the committee? No. Honorable Ababiko, are you a member of the committee? Please submit. Honorable, you're not a member? Yeah, 1, 2. And Honorable Samba, you're not a member? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable
After
Speaker.
Honorable Babiko. After Honorable Babiko.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I have listened to the 3 different reports, and I'm supporting the majority report because of the principles emphasized in the report of fairness and equal treatment. But beyond that, Right Honorable Speaker, any imposition of tax or taxes have implications on the consumer. When we take usage of plastic bags specifically, Right Honorable Speaker, in the whole country, the percentage of people who are using the plastic bags and other things is so high. Not every decision can be implementable. Therefore, I would love to thank the President for the insight, but also the comprehensive study that is going to be done, over which the Minister, the Honourable Minister, has committed himself, will be able to guide the government, but also this House, on a rightful decision to take, whether we need to ban the usage of plastic materials or not. That will be on study that is going to be done. So I support the majority report. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Kakoza.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you. I wanted to give the information out for the purpose of the record. I've been a taxman for the last 17 years. The President cannot define an item which is manufactured. No, he categorizes. And once he categorizes, those categories fall under a system code which is national. So I want people who are debating on the floor, the President cannot. I'm a member of the New York Council in World Trade Organization. All these items which are manufactured in the world, they are given a code where they are tabulated taxes. So to say that the President defined or classified, no. Already the system is there. The moment you import any good, when you import it from out, there is a customs extant tariff.
No, but Honorable Kakoza, what Honorable Masaba was saying, that the President widened the list. Widened the list of exemption. This is who are benefiting. So
yes,
for me, that's the principle I got, that he widened. So he's saying, I agree with the rates of the President, okay? But then the list should be reduced.
No. Chair, that's what the information I'm coming to. When you look to the principal law, those items are there. What he did, he said, there are some which are classified under raw materials, that's which are adding the value addition. Can you hold on? I finish.
No, Honorable Masaba, I know. Honorable Kakoza.
What the President did.
The President has widened the list. If you read the principle,
he widened under Chapter 39, and the goods are classified there.
That's okay.
So
okay?
when you say that the President defined, he cannot define.
I agree with you. The President cannot. Okay, he cannot classify, but he widened.
What Honorable Kakosa is stating is true, but Honorable Kakosa.
But who gave you the microphone, Honorable, to begin with? Yeah. So kindly take your seat. Yes, I had allowed him, and then no, him, and then you. And then we conclude.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Akorikin Francis, Member of Parliament for Kapelebion constituency. I have listened attentively all the 3 reports, both from the majority and the 2 minority reports. My only concern was that while the reports emphasize the issue of revenue generation in respect to excise duty being proposed, but there are some taxes that are necessarily brought not just because of revenue, others are brought as a deterrence. Now, in supporting the majority report, we want to emphasize, and the Minister for Finance, the last recommendation which says we need to have a comprehensive study should be put into action so that next year when we are considering bills for the proposed legislation for taxes for the other financial year, part of that report should shape that way forward. Because for now, in the interim, we can now assume that we will approve the report of the majority as it is because of that last recommendation of that there is going to be a study. Otherwise, there are so many positives of having this tax higher in order to deter the potential, because many of us have been, we have now know that when the biggest byproduct cleaned was actually plastics. So as we are cleaning, we are instead importing. But in the meantime, we can pass. But Minister of Finance should commit that next financial year, in April, this matter, the report should have been produced so that we can guide our planning going forward.
Thank you. The minister already committed, and I trust Honorable Msas on that. Once he gives you a commitment, it comes to pass. Good thing, he was the chair of Finance Committee, and he was one of the toughest ever for ministers. So we shall learn from how he was treating other ministers when he was the chair. So, yes, Honorable Nsamba.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, you may recall that recently there was a big crackdown on Ugandans who are staying in swamps. And many of them lost their livelihoods. Many are watching this parliament. They lost their livelihoods in the interest of protecting the environment. We can't be seated here as parliament trying to help other people who are destroying the environment. And we sit here as parliament, Ugandans, many of them, it was a big cry over, and everyone noted it. Right Honourable Speaker, whereas I agree that the increment was too big by the 11th Parliament, but we cannot sit here to reduce it further to the extent that even the intended objective of deterrence is completely lost, to the extent that we even lose the revenue that was projected. So my opinion, Right Honourable Speaker, we can do a win-win. Whereas the President reduced it to the lowest, we can do a win-win, and at least we don't lose the revenue, and at least we also achieve the intention of the 11th Parliament. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable colleagues, I now put the question that the motion for reconsideration of the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 as returned by His Excellency the President be adopted. Those in favour say unto the contrary. The ayes have it.
The Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026, Bills Committee stage.
Chair.
Proposed amendment to the return bill, clause 2 of the bill, is amended by substituting for paragraph E the following. By substituting for item 11 the following. plastics. Plastic granules used in the manufacture of single-use plastic products. Single-use plastics products, including disposable plastic cups, lids, plates, cutlery bags, sachets, bottles, straw and stirrers, cling films and wraps, jars and lids, and sacks and bags of polymers of ethylene, except vacuum packing bags for food, juices, tea, and coffee. Sacks and bags for direct use in the manufacture of sanitary pads, multiple-use plastics and plastic granules used in the manufacture of multiple-use plastics, plastic granules used in the manufacture of plastic products used for packing pharmaceutical products, and plastic products used for packing pharmaceutical products. The justification is to maintain the status quo on the rate applicable of plastics and plastic products. And there may be some additional information, Chair. What this means, if a trader was importing goods at the tariff rate of 2.5.
Honorable Kakoza, please, we are at committee stage. You must read the clause the way it is. Can we expunge that part and you repeat it?
Much obliged.
Yeah, repeat the clause. Or let's just take it the way it is. Because you see, at this time, when the chair is reading, whatever you are reading or saying is considered to be part of the clause.
No,
So
I was
if it
giving
is-
information, Chair.
No, you don't at this stage.
I stop at
when you're
that.
reading.
I stop at that.
Okay. You have an amendment to the proposal? Please, put a question on the amendment. Put your amendment.
Clause 2E be amended by substituting the proposed item 11, the following on plastics. A, plastic granules, plastic products, sacks and bags of polymer of ethylene and other plastics except vacuum packaging bags for food, juice, tea, and coffee sacks, and bags for direct use in the manufacture of sanitary pads. B, disposable plastic cups, lids, plates, cutlery, bags, sachets, bottles, straws and stirrers, clinging films and wraps, jars and lids. 2.5% or USD 70 per ton, whichever is higher. Justification, this is to include plastic granules and plastic products in the items taxable at 2.5% or 70 USD per ton, whichever is higher.
I'll just handle, because what Honorable Kakoza, on behalf of the committee, has presented is the position of the President, okay, which the committee adopted. So I'm going to first deal with further amendments that are proposed to the position of the President, okay? Once they are carried, they are the ones we shall take. Once they are not carried, then we shall go back to the position of the President. So I put a question and I will, no, I'll just, you can't have, the amendments are different. This is one clause. So yours is different from the one of Honorable Samba. So I must first put the one of Honorable Samba to question. Honorable Masaba Karim, I put it on question and we'll see whether the House carries it or not. Honorable colleagues, I put the question that the proposed amendment by Honorable Karim Masaba be adopted. Those in favor say unto the contrary, nay. The nays have it. What's wrong? No, you didn't hear. Honorable Samba. Okay, let me repeat it for you. Allow me, I repeat it for you. I have a proposal from the President which the committee has proposed. I haven't put a question on it. the one of the president. Because the moment it is carried, then the others won't be. You get it? It would be carried. So now I'm first disposing of amendments. So, if, and I want to explain to you Israel, because I'm seeing some members being new, they might not get it. If you vote aye on the one of Honorable Masaba and he carries it, the one of the president collapses. If you vote nay, okay, on the one of Honorable Masaba, the one of the president is still standing. If that's what you wanted to understand, I put it for you plainly. No, Honorable Samba, yours is coming. No, you have yours. Please, Honorable colleagues, I repeat. I put a question on the proposed amendment by Honorable Karim Masaba. Those in favor say aye, and the contrary nay. The nays have it. You see, colleagues, it's not about one person shouting a lot. It's about you generally. Honorable Samba.
Mr. Chair.
Your proposed amendment. Yeah.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And the listening gadgets around that area needs to be enhanced. Mr. Chair, my proposal is on the figures. Like I debated, I requested that we do a win-win. And I request that instead of the 1,500 that per ton that was proposed by the 11th Parliament, we reduce it to 500. Because the intention of the 11th Parliament, honorable members, was to continue with the deterring policy of government. And for them, they thought if they did it to that tune, it will yield the results. So I am proposing that instead of the $70 proposed by the president, it goes to 500.
Okay.
And that will be equivalent to 8% of the, as the two figures, either to 8% per ton or $500, whichever is higher. In the interest that we don't make those Ugandans who lost their livelihoods to sit here and think Parliament only minds about the environment when it concerns the poor people. And when it concerns the rich people, they are protected. I beg to move right on.
Yeah. Now, honorable colleagues, these are proposals, especially on tax bills, okay? It's always very, very important to read the committee reports early so that engagements are done, because stakeholders are very, very critical, okay? So, Honorable Masaba, Honorable Samba, whereas I can see, you know, I have authority under Rule 140, Sub-Rule 5, which requires you to propose such an amendment a day earlier. And why a day earlier? Now it would be shared with the Minister for Finance, because the tax bills are critical. So I don't want to stampede the Minister with the amendments here. The one of Honorable Masaba, I allowed it because it came much earlier as part of the minority report. But yours, I should have received it yesterday so that I can share it. No, it's our rules. Colleagues, I'm applying your rules. I'm not applying mine. Read Rule 140, Sub-Rule 5 of our rules of procedure. So I No, Honorable Kakoza, leave me, please. So, I hereby not allow that proposed amendment to be put question as required under Rule 140, Sub-Rule 5. Colleagues, when we are doing bills and you're proposing an amendment on bills, please, you have to write to the Speaker, to the presiding officer, a day earlier. This is your own standard, which you set. So with that, honorable colleagues, I put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed by the majority report of the committee. Those in favor say aye, to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2 as amended.
I put the question that clause 2 as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for the House to resume.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Chair, I beg to move a motion for the House to resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto.
Yeah, colleagues, I put the question that the House do resume and the committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Report from the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the committee of the whole House has reconsidered the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 as returned by His Excellency the President and passed it with amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report from the committee of the whole House.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the report from the committee of the whole House be adopted.
Honorable colleagues, I put a question that the report of the committee of the whole House be adopted. Those in favor say aye, and to the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Bill third reading.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the Tax Amendment Bill 2026 as returned by His Excellency the President be read for the third time and do pass.
I think for the record, the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026. I wanted.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 as returned by the President be read for the third time and do pass.
Honorable colleagues, I do put a question that the Excise Duty Amendment Bill 2026 be read for the third time and do pass. Those in favor say aye, and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled Excise Duty Amendment Act 2026.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, I want to thank you. Honorable Minister, I want to congratulate you. Now you can go and ensure this is expedited so that you start doing all your work of collecting taxes so that you can finance the targets of government, the budget of government. I also want to thank the committee for expeditiously handling this work. Honorable Max Ochai, your maiden bills. Honorable Kakoza for the great work, a very great addition to this house. Honorable Nsamba for having, oh, he's not here. Yes, for having that eye and the good proposals. I hope next time we'll have a time to debate. Honorable Masaba Karim, that was really good. These are very, very clear proposals. Honorable Javira, and for raising very, very critical issues, I think which should guide us seriously. And Honorable Max Ochai Chair, I would request you, the issues which have come out in the minority report are issues we must consider in April 2027 when we are handling these tax bills. The good thing with tax bills is 1 year we shall be here again debating. Okay? Yeah. So I really want to thank you, honorable colleagues. Clerk, we are going to handle. Honorable Minister, you wanted to say something? I think these are your first bills as a full minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, briefly, I want to thank you for, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you sincerely for the support you have given this process. I remember from the onset, you tasked the Committee on Finance to expeditiously handle these bills. And I want to thank you that in a record time of less than 3 weeks, we have the bills considered by Parliament under your stewardship. I want to really thank you so much. I want to thank and congratulate the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development for successfully executing their first assignment. Chair and your colleagues, I want to appreciate you, and most importantly, when I appeared before the committee, the interaction was cordial. Mr. Speaker, I was well handled by the chair and his members, and I want to really appreciate them. I want to thank colleagues in the House. These are my first bills as a Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and I have started well because they have passed without any amendments. I therefore must appreciate members for the support they have given. Mr. Speaker, on a happy note, the new members have now appreciated the practical Parliament. I could see some were initially struggling to stand up when you were coming to the committee stage. They were asking what is happening here. Now what we were taught during orientation, we are beginning to see it in reality. And I'm happy that real business has started. I want to end by asking support of colleagues. I have a lot of business in the pipeline, which will be coming through in the coming weeks, because we need to finance this budget. Tax revenue, which you have given me today, is one of the sources, and also the borrowing, the loans. Mr. Speaker, I want to beg for support of colleagues. When our business comes, give us support and timely handling. Mr. Speaker, I am here with my colleague who is on orientation, Honorable Amina Mukarazi. You can stand up for recognition. I brought her, I asked her to come to appreciate how this process is handled so that in the future, when she's assigned to come and represent the ministry, she knows what to do. And I'm glad she's adapting very well. We have agreed next time we come together, I will sit down and she will be on the microphone. Thank you very much, colleagues. And thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you. Next.
Item 4 on the order paper, laying of reports. 1, report of the Uganda delegation to the 19th Conference of the Speakers and Presiding Officer of the Commonwealth Parliament's Africa region, held from 12th to 20th June 2026 at the Emperor's Palace Convention Center, Gauteng.
Honorable Namukuta Brenda.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on Rule 34(1) of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of Uganda to lay the report of the Uganda delegation to the 19th Conference of the Speakers and Presiding Officers of the Commonwealth Parliament's Africa region, held from 12th to 20th June 2026 at the Emperor's Palace Convention Center in Gauteng, South Africa. Right Honorable Speaker, the conference featured 4 plenary sessions which addressed critical thematic areas, and these include 1, the role of parliaments in enhancing public trust in governance; 2, reforming and developing innovation mechanisms for proactive parliamentary leadership; 3, hastening the potential of Africa's youth for sustainable development; 4, leveraging technology and digital tools for sustainable development. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Honorable, so that's all you wanted to say? Okay, very good. You saved my time. Because under the rules, she's supposed to give us a brief summary. No, when I talk of a brief summary, it doesn't stop at being just a brief summary. There are details we need. Yeah, some details we need. But don't mind, but crack, you note, I'll be appointing a date of debate, okay, for the report. So, honorable colleagues, take interest in the report. We shall have time to debate it. Okay. Next.
Item 4.2 in the order paper, the treaties, protocols, and international agreements ratified or acceded to by the government of Uganda 2021-2025.
Yes. Acting Minister for Foreign Affairs, I'm happy that you're doing this, because the rules require that within 90 days of these treaties, they should be here. We have some which have taken 10 years, have never been brought here. Okay, and yet there are commitments. Some have budgetary implications, some, you know. So I'm really, really happy you're here. So kindly do the needful.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for the compliments. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay the treaties, protocols, and international agreements ratified, all acceded to by the government of Uganda during the period 2021-2025. Number 1, the East African Community Protocol on Information and Communication Technology Network. Number 2, the partnership agreement between the European Union and its member states, on the one part, and the members of the Organization of the Africa Caribbean and Pacific states of the other hand. That is the Samoa Agreement. Number 3, the Treaty for Establishment of the African Medicine.
Honorable Minister, each one you read, you're supposed to lay. Okay? So, can we have one, the East African Community Protocol on Information and Communications Technology Networks? It will be easy if you read on the arguments, yeah, that you keep passing.
Right Honorable Speaker, this is the partnership agreement between the European Union and its member states. I beg to lay.
No, Minister. That's the Samoa Agreement? Yeah, because that should be, huh?
It is, Right Honorable.
And that's the size? Because you know I'm the president of the Parliamentary Assembly, so I participated. Okay, it's a heavy document.
Let him go back. He will come when he's organized.
Right Honorable Speaker, you know I had organized a file comprising of all protocols and agreements. So now I need to take time to select them.
Yeah, but Honorable, you can lay them in the order they are, okay? You can read from your file in the order they are. But what is important, the procedure for laying. Each document you read, you lay differently. You can't bring a band and you say they are all here. We can't be sure. The one you're not sure about, you can just leave it.
Right Honorable Speaker,
Yeah.
I beg that you give me 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
I organize my file properly well.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you. That will help both of us, to move well. So we can be handling the next item. Then the moment you're ready, we can stand over it. We allow you to do your work, and then we resume. Then we shall reconcile on the answer. Next.
Item 3 on the order paper, statement by Minister on status of roads across the country.
Honorable Minister for Works and Transport. For him, he's lucky he doesn't need to lay on table.
Right Honourable Speaker and honourable colleagues, I'm here to read or present a statement to Parliament on the status of the roads across the country. And we submitted our report earlier, the clerk to Parliament. Right Honourable Speaker, at the 11th sitting of the first meeting of the first session of the 12th Parliament, held on Tuesday, 16th July 2026, the Right Honourable Prime Minister presented to the House the statement of business for the succeeding week, 21st, 23rd July 2026. The statement included an item from the Minister of Works and Transport present to the House, a comprehensive statement on the status of roads across the country. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to respond as follows. This paper is about the status of the roads network across the country. The paper presented to the House the current status of the national roads, the district, urban and community access roads, bridges and swamp improvements. Right Honourable Speaker, road transport is the dominant mode of transport, accounting for over 90% of cargo freight and passengers movement in the country. To this effect, government has prioritized the development of road transport infrastructure across the country to improve national connectivity, facilitate trade, support regional integration, and promote socio-economic transformation. The total road network is estimated at 159,561 kilometers, comprising of 6,405 kilometers of paved national roads, 14,897 kilometers of unpaved national roads, 1,211 kilometers of paved urban roads, 16,548 kilometers of unpaved urban roads, 312 kilometers paved district roads, 38,041 kilometers of unpaved district roads, and 954 kilometers of KCCA paved roads. 1,246 kilometers of KCCA unpaved roads, and 79,947 kilometers of community access roads. Out of the total road network of 159,561 kilometers, the largest network comprising of 150,679 kilometers is unpaved, representing about 94.43%, and only 5.57% is paved. The status of implementation of national roads. Right Honourable Speaker, my ministry is currently implementing the following projects on the national road network. 1, 23 road upgrading projects covering 1,274.8 kilometers, 11 road rehabilitation projects covering 854.6 kilometers, then 11 bridge development projects comprising of 30 bridges under construction across the country, 16 projects under the in-house supervision covering 1,041.9 kilometers, and 1 project under direct construction by the ministry covering 89 kilometers. Right Honourable Speaker, my ministry continues to undertake routine and periodic maintenance on the national roads network. Currently, 92% of paved national roads are in fair to good condition against a target of 90%, while 77% of unpaved national roads are in fair to good condition against a target of 75%. Right Honourable Speaker, a status on implementation of the road projects under the national road network is as follows. 1, these are the recently completed national road projects which have just concluded. Orui Nebi Road 33 km, Soroti Dokorolira Kamdin Road 189.4 km, Moroto Lokitanyar Road 42 kilometers, and the Palisa Kumi Town Roads, those are 21 kilometers. Right Honourable Speaker, ongoing national road upgrading projects. These ones are still ongoing, but some of them are almost to completion. The Ruwero Butarang Road progress is at 84.8% with 27 kilometers paved. Masindi Biso Kabale Kiziramfumbi and Hoa Nyairongo Kiarusesa Bitole roads. That's 97 kilometer progress is about 92.6%. Kinyarasuga Access Road, the progress is 19.26%. These are 8 kilometers. Muyembe na Kapripit Road, 92 kilometers. The progress is at 88.4% with 84 kilometers paved. Renkunya Patch Road, progress is at 72.28%. Apache Lira Pranga Road, progress is at 95.9% with 78 kilometers paved. Tororo Busia Road, this is 26 kilometer, and the Busia Town Roads, the progress is at 87%. Then Kauku Werenga Road and the Namugonde Bujiri Road, the progress is at 45.9%. Then Kaval International Airport Access Road, this is 3.5 kilometer, and the progress is at 59.2%. Honorable Speaker, ongoing national road rehabilitation projects, the projects we are rehabilitating now, we have Matuga Semuto Kapeka Road and the town roads, the progress is at 39.8%. Orui Nebi and upgrading of Pakwach and the Nebi town roads, the progress is at 99.2%. Then we have periodic maintenance of Kampala Jinja Road, 72 kilometer, progress is at 75. Implementation has stalled due to corruption issues, and the ministry is addressing these matters to enable the works to resume and the project to proceed to completion. Orio Parkwatch Road, progress is at 62.3%. Busunju Kibogahoima Road, progress is at 32%. Karumo Rio, progress is at 98.6%. Matugasemuto Kapeka Road and upgrading of town roads, the progress is at 70%. Masaka Chotera Mtukura project and rehabilitation of Nyendo Vera Maria Road and access roads, progress is at 22.82%. We are behind schedule, but we're handling the matter to sort the problems there. The NERAP, that's lot 1, Tororo Mbale Soroti, 150 kilometer. Then lot 2, Soroti Dokololira Kamdin, that's 189.4 kilometers. Progress is at 99.9%. Then also we have emergency reconstruction of selected sections along Kampala Masaka Road, that's 15.8 kilometers. Ongoing bridge projects on the national road network. We have construction of strategic bridges on the national road network. Lot 3, Ala, Gazi, Aka, progress is at 92.38%. Design and build of the 66 strategic bridges in eastern Uganda, Lot 2, Nabukaya, Nambola, Namasimiri, Sahana, and Kamisaru bridges on Kafu, Rakaha Road, and the Rubongi Bridge on Tororo, Nabongera Road, and the progress is at 77%. Design and build of 66 strategic bridges in western Uganda. Lot 4, we have Maziba on Kagata, Kabunyonyi, Nyachukungwe Road, then Kiruruma on Katojoki Road, Rembio, and the Kajuenge bridges on Kinyamaseke, Kisinga, Kiarumba, Kibirizi Road, and the Kamirwa, Nyakambu on Kaboye with Boera Road, progress is at 63.7%. Design and build of 6 strategic road bridges in West Nile sub-region, Lot 6, Kochi on Keri, Midigo Kwera Road, Osu on Arua Biliaf, Otrev Road, and Adroa on Arua Vura, Custom Paidagoli Road, progress is at 98%. Construction of 6 selected bridges, phase 2, Lot 1, Dunga, Mahoma, Mpanga, Nabuswa, and the Parepa bridges along Kuku, Rubona Road in Kabarole district, progress is at 39.57%. Nyamagasani, that is under Lot 1, bridge on Ruentale, Katwe, Katojo Road, progress is at 48%. Kanya Bridge on Mobuku, Mariba, Kianya Ibanda Road, and the Isango Bridge on Obuveera, Kiraro Road, progress is on 95%. Lot 3, Upper Bridge on Amuru, Ome, Rhino Camp Road, progress is at 84%. Lot 4, design and build of Lokite, Loto, Tagisra Bridge. Some of these pronunciations are difficult for me. On Kabong, Idepo Road, emergency reconstruction of selected sections along Kampala, Masaka, damaged by floods, under design and build for Katonga Bridge, Ruera Swamp, and the Kalanda's Swamp, progress is at 82%. Then emergency reconstruction of Seziwa Bridge along Okalaji, Kayunga Road, under design and build progress is at 71.23%. Right Honourable Speaker, during finance year 2026-2027, government also, this is a very financial year, plans to commence construction of the following national road projects subjected to availability of resources from the Ministry of Finance. The national roads planned for upgrading, we have Katinochero Road, and the details to all of these roads, we have put them in the annex. Katinochero Road, 89 km, Kumingora Serere Kagwara Road, 95 km, Karugutu Ntoroko Road, 56.5 km, Bubolo Bududa, Sachula Road, and Mbale Nkokonjeru Road, Hamurwa, Kerere Kanungu, Nyakatorogo, Butogota, Buhoma, Ikumba Road, 146 km, Karenga Kidepo, Kabong Road, that's 68 km, Jinjambula Mutika Mulibukungu, 127 km, Kitigumu Kidepo Road, 115 km, Nebigoli Road, 16 km, Nebigoli, that is 16 km, Laropi Moyo of Fuji Road, Laropi Bridge, and 5 kilometers of town roads in Lalopi and Moyo. Honourable Speaker, the projects listed above are those planned to commence during financial year 2026-2027. Other roads projects not listed above will be progressively implemented, starting with financial year 2027-2028 in accordance with NRM Manifesto and the First National Development Plan, that's NDP4, are subject to availability of resources from Ministry of Finance. Planned national road rehabilitation projects, we have Mbarara Ibanda Road, we have Mbarara Ishaka Road, Nebiarua Road, Mukono Jinja Road, Mtunga Mo Kagamba Rukunjiri Road, Gulu Atiaka Nimle Road, rehabilitation and upgrade of Masindi Port Bridge and Karuma Bridge. Honourable Speaker, to preserve the achievements, Ministry of Finance allocated 326 billion Uganda shillings out of the estimated annual requirement of 807 billion Uganda shillings. The maintenance fund shall be used to undertake routine maintenance of both paved and unpaved roads, periodic maintenance of aging paved roads, bridge maintenance, emergency interventions following floods, landslides, and other natural disasters, and drainage improvement and road asset preservation measures. Honourable Speaker, over the years, government has invested over 37.4 trillions in the development and improvement of the national road network, comprising both paved and unpaved roads. However, inadequate funding for maintenance, weakness in planning, and instances of corruption have contributed to deterioration and the loss in value of these road assets. It is estimated that 10.5 trillion in road asset value has been lost, leaving the current national road asset value at 26.9 trillion Ugandan shillings. Government is addressing these challenges on two fronts. First, the ministry is strengthening governance, accountability, and oversight of road works, and addressing matters of corruption to ensure value for money from investments in road sector. Secondly, the ministry is engaging with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to progressively increase funding for road maintenance, particularly periodic maintenance, so that the existing national road asset is adequately preserved and further loss in asset value is avoided. Right Honourable Speaker and all honourable members, government therefore is committed to progressively increase investment in road maintenance with particular emphasis on periodic maintenance of paved roads, which remains the most cost-effective intervention for preserving the national road asset and preventing roads from deteriorating into much more expensive rehabilitation and reconstruction works. Because if you don't maintain these roads and their time elapses, we have seen tendencies of us investing heavily to reconstruct them. Yet if we plan well to maintain them, government spends less money and they last longer. In addition, government continues to strengthen preparation of future road investments through the public investment management system to ensure that strategic projects are ready for implementation when financing is available. Status of implementation of district, urban and community access roads. Right Honourable Speaker, the following interventions are ongoing on the district, urban and the community access roads. 1, opening of the 224.69 kilometers equivalent on the district, urban and community access road using force account implementation strategy. Shaping and compacting 240.27 kilometers on the district, urban and community access road using force account implementation strategy. Graveling 106.89 kilometers on the district and community access road network using force account implementation strategy. Sealing of 30.1 kilometer of low volume roads using local sealing method. Sealing of 25 kilometer medium volume roads using probos technology. These are technologies we are trying to test whether they can work on our roads which have low volume traffic flow. Tarmacking of 11.5 kilometer of urban roads in Ruamata Town Council, Kokonjeru Town Council, Katabi Town Council, Kira Municipality and Jeru Municipality. Rehabilitation of 161 kilometers out of the 196 kilometers of community access roads in the districts. Rehabilitation of 49.8 kilometers of community access roads to support cement factories in Moroto and Nabilatuk districts. Construction of 7 bridges on the district and community access road network. These are Taja Bridge, Nyahuka Mirambi Bridge, Nchwera Bridge, Kiyanja Swamp Crossing, Haivale Swamp Crossing, Nampaji Box Caravat in Wakiso, Amodo Swamp Crossing in Dokolo, and the details where those bridges exist. They're in the annex. We can get the details there, which we submitted. Challenges affecting implementation. High costs of acquiring right-of-way. Right-of-way, this is where the road is going to pass for transport infrastructure projects, arising from cases of also corruption in the land acquisition process. There have been cases of persons obtaining information on planned road corridors and acquiring land, instances of collusion involving fellow colleagues in government and the public service working with some of our officers or engineers. These are the same people participating in identification of road corridors, assessment of affected property, and the determination of compensation values, which creates opportunities for inflated compensation costs. The ministry is undertaking investigation into these practices and strengthening controls to ensure transparency, accountability, and the value for money in the land acquisition. Because we have seen in instances where the value for land acquisition is 3 times than the cost needed to construct the road. Climate change effects, which lead to deterioration of transport assets, limited the capacity of our local contractors to undertake major infrastructure projects, There is need to support our local contractors to build their technical, financial, and managerial capacity to enable them to undertake larger and more complex infrastructure projects. Strengthening the domestic construction industry will, over the time, increase the local participation. This will reduce the cost of undertaking infrastructure works and retain a greater share of the investment within the country by reducing the repatriation of profits. Lead times of procurement are long, hence affecting absorption of funds. Infrastructure is aging, which requires significant capital investment to replace maintenance, then also funding for maintenance of road infrastructure assets is inadequate when periodic maintenance is not undertaken at the appropriate time. Roads deteriorate further and eventually require more costly rehabilitation or reconstruction, as I had earlier told you. Government is therefore prioritizing timely periodic maintenance and engaging the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Development to progressively increase maintenance funding to preserve the existing road asset and avoid higher future costs. The examples where you have seen, we have the Mitiana Mubende Fort Potro Road. Such roads have deteriorated and we are doing a reconstruction. Yet, if we had got money to maintain them, we couldn't have reached at that stage. For example, while the Karuma Orio Road is being restored through periodic maintenance at a cost of 48.618 billion, the Orio Pakwach Road, whose condition deteriorated further, requires the rehabilitation at a cost of 195.67 billion. And there are many other examples. The conditionalities of tagging disbursements of funds for externally funded projects to availability of our counterpart funding slows down implementation of projects, increase the cases of collusion and corruption involving some government officials working with contractors to inflate the cost of infrastructure projects, including through commission fees and other improper arrangements. This is compounded by the poor project planning and preparation, including instances where the contracts are assigned and works commence before acquiring the right of adequately. And this one has caused a lot of problems to us, and the resulting delays and disruption to works expose government to contractual claims, additional costs, ultimately place unnecessary financial burden on the public, where you find our unpatriotic engineers sign a contract with a contractor while knowing there is no right of way, and this road cannot pass in air, and they go ahead to put loose clothes that the time you spend minus doing the road, you'll be charging government. You find even if a road is at a cost of 200 billion Ghana shillings, by the time it starts, the contractor has eaten over 100 billion in the name of claiming. As the result of the loose contracts, they leave a gap that if we take you to a site, you don't work for a given time, you reclaim, yet they know even this money for land acquisition is not in the budget, which Parliament appropriates here. The Ministry is strengthening project preparation, oversight and accountability mechanism, and investigating such cases to ensure value for money in implementation of road projects. Right, Honourable Speaker, my assurances, I would like to assure you and all the honourable members of Parliament that my ministry will ensure the short and medium term road upgrading and maintenance interventions are undertaken, subjected to availability of funds from the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development. Eternal Speaker, sir, developing road infrastructure remains central to government's efforts to improve connectivity, facilitate trade, support regional integration, and drive socio-economic transformation. My ministry is committed to maintaining the national, district, urban, and the community road network to enable implementation of government programs and ensure the highest returns of investment from these key national assets. The ministry will continue to work closely with the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, development partners and other stakeholders to mobilize resources and ensure efficient, timely implementation. Right Honorable Speaker, to complete this statement, a detailed annex on ongoing national, district, urban and community roads and the bridge project is attached as Annex 1 to the report I shared with the clerk for information to the honorable members. And Right Honorable, this one being my maiden statement to the August House. Any other coming statements, if you can report it, I beg to submit. Right Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you. Now, Honorable Minister, the first improvement will be signing your statement. So, Honorable Minister, the first improvement will be signing your statement. Okay? And then initialing on each page so that you own it up. Is Honorable Kasoro ready? Yes. If Honorable Kasoro is ready, we can just stand over this. He first lays these critical documents.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the Berne Convention for the protection of digital and artistic works. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay the World Intellectual Property Organization's Copyright Treaty. I beg you to lay. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay the Beijing Treaty and audiovisual performances. I beg you to lay. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the World Intellectual Property Organization Performance and Phonograms Treaty. Right Honorable Speaker, I also beg to lay the Treaty for Establishment of African Medicine Agency. Right Honorable Speaker, I also beg to lay the East African Community Protocol on Information and Communication Technology Network. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the agreement on the multilateral competent authority and automatic exchange of financial account information. Right Honorable Speaker, I also beg to lay the agreement on the Center for Agriculture and Biosciences International, CABI. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the protocols relating to the amendment of Articles 50A and 56 of the Convention on International Civil Aviation, Chicago Convention 1944. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the partnership agreement between the European Union and its member states of the one part and the members of the Organization of the African, Caribbean and Pacific States of the other part, the Samoa Agreement.
Now that's the right size.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I also want to lay the protocol amending the Agreement 1987 for the establishment of the Intergovernmental Standing Committee on Shipping to Maritime Organization for the Eastern and Southern and Northern Africa. I beg to lay. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of persons with disabilities in Africa. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the Convention on International Interests in Mobile Equipment on matters specific to aircraft equipment, the Aircraft Protocol. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of older persons in Africa. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the Inter-African Coffee Organization Agreement. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the Treaty for Establishment of African Medicine Agency. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the agreement between the government of the Republic of Uganda and the government of the United States of America for cooperation in the examination of protection requests. Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of citizens to social protection and social security. I beg to lay. Right Honourable Speaker, thank you very much for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister, issues of foreign affairs, treaties, protocols are issues I want this House to start taking seriously. Because there are commitments we make, there are fees we pay to these organizations, and we never receive any report. So I request you to deep a look at Rule 41 of our Rules of Procedure and the Committee on Foreign Affairs and any other committee, because not all treaties and protocols are under Committee of Foreign Affairs. There is an implementing ministry. There are those for agriculture, those for health. So, Honourable Minister, I request, since you coordinate all, ensure that, and I've really appreciated you, ensure that all of them are reported here. That's number one. Number two, the rules require that at least twice a year, this House should receive a report on the implementation of a treaty or protocol or agreement twice a year. Okay? So that we're on tabs. Sometimes we travel with our colleagues, and wherever we go, we are ambassadors of this country. And we are put task. You, Uganda, you're not following this protocol, which you know? Hey, and now you're like, but which protocol is this? You've never heard about it, because the ministry went, signed it, and they rocked it, kept it under rock without us knowing what goes on. 3, so reporting to the House twice. You can just read Rule 41 of our Rules of Procedure. It gives all that. So reporting. So I request the sectoral committees, before approving money for any of these organizations, we should ask for these reports. We just don't become members for the sake of it. Then, also for treaties and protocols which require periodic reports. Our rules require that the draft report should be brought to the House before it is finalized and submitted to the organization. So these were rules which were aiming at us keeping in touch with what you're doing internationally and the commitments we go into. So, Honourable Minister, I will really appreciate if this can be given the attention it deserves. Maybe finally, I think Attorney General, you need to take note of this. There are many protocols, treaties and agreements which could be concluded without the input of the Attorney General. Okay? We commit our country without I can give an example of the Samoa Agreement. If some of us had not put a huge protest, the things which were in, Honorable Opio, Honorable Cecilia Ogwar, Honorable Rusa Kero, Honorable Sechkubo. There were issues, and the devil is in the detail. Those treaties are so detailed. They have a lot of annexes. The languages, they are written in small letters. So but for example, in the draft Samoa Agreement, there was a requirement that we should provide money for abortion, that we should amend our laws to align with LGBTQI. You know, they keep adding a letter. They started LGBT, then they added the Q, then they added I. So I don't know what they have. No, plus. Oh, now they've added plus. Yeah, so all those issues. And they were saying, and there was a provision saying that that agreement supersedes your national laws. Yes. So, so when I reached in Brussels, I'm confronted with that document and I read overnight. I call my minister and I'm like, but Honourable Minister, did you agree to this? Because they are saying you concluded on it. I call Attorney General, he has never seen it. So Attorney General, I request you need to put your foot on the ground so that no one goes and negotiates and commits our country without your involvement. And I'm happy the leader of government business is here. It's a very, very serious issue. So, thank you, Honourable Minister. Yes, I know you have other duties which we had agreed upon. Now, I know Honourable Nsamba, when he knows I'm not going to pick him, he always finds ways of... No, I was requesting colleagues that we go into debate. Isn't it? We go straight. Of laying papers. Okay, let me allow colleagues that we go into debate. Isn't it? We go straight. Of laying papers. Okay, let me allow Honorable Nsamba. Then I will start with the Honorable Muchibi Tambara.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I appreciate you for making matters of international forums very important, especially in the 12th Parliament. I was a member of the Pan-African Parliament and I would always interface with similar situations as you have highlighted. Right Honourable Speaker, the procedural matter I'm raising on, in our rules 42, you are required, in 42.1, you are required a treaty submitted to Parliament for ratification under subsection of the treaties. The Speaker shall refer the treaty to the relevant committees, and the committee to which a treaty is referred under sub-rule 1 shall examine the treaty in detail and make inquiries in relation to the treaty and report to the House. And the report of the committee to the House shall include a recommendation that the House ratifies the treaty. Now, Right Honourable Speaker, I have seen many protocols and treaties. Rightly you've put it that they need to be examined. But being many, how are they going to, now you have not referred them to any committee, how do we proceed about it? Yet you have mentioned the need for each particular committee to be able to look at them and inform this House. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. Really, that's a very, very brilliant intervention. It was an oversight on my part. Though, the ones we've handled now fall under 41. Okay? These are for just laying on the floor. The ones under 42 are for ratification. So these ones are usually ratified by cabinet because we have different types of treaties. Those which require the House and then those which require cabinet are for ratification. So the ones we are handling now are for under Rule 41. But then also those ones require to be examined by the committee. So that was an oversight on my side, and I want to thank you very much. So let them be examined by the committee and report back in 45 days. Colleagues sitting here all day, juggling things here and there, you can have an oversight over many issues, so it is important. Even if I don't pick you like on procedure and it's such a critical matter, write me a note, okay? So that I can go back and I do the necessary, like Honorable Samba has helped me here. Now, on examining, honorable colleagues, we are not giving you these treaties to come and start saying, go amend this is bad, most of these international treaties are what we call take or leave kind of treaties. Either you're in or you're out, because they are not bilateral, they are multilateral, most of them. A very good example, one of the ones being under discussion is the economic partnership agreement with the European Union that is being discussed, because we are now entering into middle income status, and if we don't process it quickly and be sure, then we will not be able to have our items quota free entering the EU market. So Kenya decided to sign on its own, to negotiate its own, and yet we are negotiating as a region. So these are things we have to continue expediting and working on. So committee, please, on examining, your focus should be mainly on guiding the House on how this treaty can be implemented, so that we can have very clear parameters of putting the minister to task. So the treaties under Rule 41, they are all under Committee of Foreign Affairs. Okay? So Committee of Foreign Affairs is the one which is going to examine all these treaties. Yes.
Thank you for allowing. Honorable Speaker, colleagues sit on international conferences, representing Parliament in those conferences. And on so many occasions, declarations are made where members of Parliament representing this august House are participants in those conferences, and declarations are passed. just in a similar way, if you can guide, because I remember sitting in one of the conferences where a declaration was made, particularly on the issue of Gaza. And as participants, we had no communication with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and therefore we couldn't make any substantive contribution on that meeting. So in such events where declarations are made on behalf of a country, courtesy of the fact that Uganda is a member state, how do we proceed? Thank you.
No, Honorable colleague, that's an issue of coordination. Okay? It's an issue of coordination. For example, I travel. I even attend ambassadors. I've been a chief guest on very many national days of several countries. But every speech you see me reading comes from foreign affairs. I can never, even if I'm holding this position, I can never, okay? Or I go and I find that you're using my presence as an organization, you're a global organization, you're saying, oh, Honorable Chirumira Hassan is here, Uganda is represented, and therefore Uganda is among the countries that have passed this declaration. I put it on record. I said, no, I'm not representing the government of Uganda. I'm representing the Parliament of Uganda. Okay? Foreign policy is a reserve of the executive. We as Parliament, we play a complementary role. That's why you cannot go and give your own position different from that of government. You can say, I don't agree with the position of my government, but you can't say the one I'm giving is the position of government. So, when I go, colleagues, when you go to such a countries, such a conferences, when you reach in those countries, please always liaise with the ambassador. Ensure if you're going to such a meetings, go with the ambassador, because the ambassador will be able to guide you on the actual position of the government of Uganda. If you go, you give your position, and you commit the country, okay? Yeah, but also sometimes where I don't have an ambassador, where I don't have a minister, I usually make a quick call. I say, but I'm seeing these issues. What is the position of government? Sometimes I Google, I see the position of the Chief Minister of Foreign Affairs, who happens to be the president of the country. I see his position, for example, on issues of Gaza, I know neutrality, okay? Yeah, so we have to be extremely, extremely cautious. We have colleagues who went and attended, I think, was it a meeting, a dinner with representative, and hosted, I think, representatives of Taiwan. Okay? And yet, government of Uganda is for one China policy. It nearly caused a big diplomatic role, because by the time you explain the other side that, look, these MPs were not sent by Parliament, they went on their own, the other side, they take it seriously. So we had to guide members on such issues. So we have to be clearly aligned with the government position on issues of foreign policy. But we will be sharing more and more and more. And lead of government business, when you hear such a cases, please always alert us so that we can make. But MPs are the greatest ambassadors of the country. Parliamentary diplomacy is extremely important for any country's foreign relations, because we interact with our MPs from other parts of the world, and they contribute a lot to the relationship between Uganda and those countries. Yes, I'm sorry we've taken along on that. So I had allowed Honorable Muchibi, Seru Njoji.
Thank you.
And then followed by Honorable Naume Kabasharira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing this maiden
2
speaker.
minutes each. 2 minutes.
Right Honorable Speaker, I was thanking you for allowing this maiden speaker to respond to the maiden statement by the Minister of Works. I am Chief Elias Serunjoji from Butambala. I just wanted to make a quick observation, and I already noted from the chair that you are guiding on what he needs to change going forward. Carefully listening to the minister's statement, I noted he kept referring to government engaging the Minister of Finance. And it appeared to me as if there are, I don't know how many governments, because I would expect a statement that comes to Parliament to be an agreed position of government, and we know that this is what is happening regarding roads. So the minister doesn't seem to be sure whether the Minister of Finance will give him the money to do the roads or how much is available. And he says we will do this subject to availability of funds from the Minister of Finance, as if we don't have a budget. So I would just ask that going forward, maybe we shall have a statement that is already agreed by the entire government, and what we have here is what is actually going to happen. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Naomi Kabasharira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Allow me also to appreciate the maiden speech. And also I like the way he has started working, because I watch him. Having said that, Mr. Speaker, I had either on wanted to submit a matter of national importance, but indeed it concerns this. Therefore, allow me to straight away thank him, but also thank the government that it has made a commendable progress in the road construction across the country. However, a serious safety concern of excessively harsh and inadequately spaced humps has emerged on many of these new roads, countrywide and all over. When I say that, members know what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, the humps cause vehicles a jolt violently, which leads to damage of suspensions, and in some cases have contributed to the very accidents they are meant to prevent. While we have addressed the problem of potholes, a new problem has emerged, which has in the long run deterred the improvement in the roads. So, Speaker, it is so bad that we come from the potholes and then in the form of well-structured roads in the humps. I don't mind if they could change the humps, these small ones, I don't know how they call them, and then make this big one. Still it can control. And also, Mr. Speaker, I would therefore request, since the minister is here and he's doing a good job, to consider this. The Minister of Works and Transport urgently reviews the humps currently installed on our roads, including those upcountry. I had put in Ntungamo, it is very bad from Barara to Ntungamo, it's very, very bad. Some elderly people cannot even move today. I take also to take into consideration the improvement on the humps for ongoing road construction and more walkways to be provided. Yes, I appreciate you have put, but there is still some roads which did not have.
Thank you. Honorable Zaidi.
Right Honorable Speaker, I am Zaidi Kamis, Member of Parliament Arua Central. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for that elaborate report that he has made on the road sector. Honorable Minister, I also want to thank you, and you continue with that from the start. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise here on a cash cow road where I requested the Minister of Finance and the deputy that she had introduced to us here to start knowing how to do work to be here. I rise on Kirabu, Jacinto, Giacolia Road. That is 10.6 kilometers. This is a road that brings for the government in 2025/26 budget, allocation of 5 billion was given for this road because it has a border point here. In that, 4.5 billion was collected only in 10.6 road. Right Honorable Speaker, this road has daily 120 tankers entering, 100 trailers entering, 445 units entering. Units are vehicles that are numberless, making it 800 vehicles entering that small road of 10.6 kilometers daily. A total of 9,600 in a year. Right Honorable Speaker, as I speak now with you, this budget that we had approved, the same 10-kilometer road is given a budget allocation of 5.8 billion. Now, if this road had collected 4.5 and it is not made, last week there was a trailer that got accident on the road. And as I speak with you, there are very many trailers that are stranded. I want to put my prayer. That's why I needed the Minister of Finance, because there is a correlationship between this variable of the road that must be constructed, that increases local revenue. Honorable Speaker, for me, I'm a fighter of local revenue. I want the burden of the government in terms of borrowing to come down. And I was one of the persons who made sure that the Matip market performs very well in this, because we wanted to appreciate the effort. So I want to put a humble prayer and an emergence to be taken into the issue of Kirabu Jacinto Lia Road, which is only 10.6 kilometers. That brings local revenue of 5.4 to be immediately, because if the minister and the team happens to pick such kind of roads, then our local revenue, our revenue will suit and the GDP will always be better.
Thank you. Honorable Mutonyi Rose.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought I was the one. Yeah, it is me. Why are you teasing me? Mr. Speaker, I had brought my paper on a matter of national importance, but I'm happy.
Yeah, because I have 2 minutes for you.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention of the Minister of Works to a very dangerous spot on the road from Bale to Luahaha. He has mentioned that they are rehabilitating, but at the onset, when they were doing the feasibility study, they did not consider a very steep hill, very, very steep. To make matters worse, they put a hump just as they are completing the steep hill. And many people have lost their lives there. I have a record here. When I advised the then executive director, who was Mrs. Kajina, I even took her there on a steep hill, and I guided. I told them there is land free from Ministry of Works. They could have diverted the road so that it forms a natural or good curve, so that they don't form a T from the top of the hill, then the road goes down, and then there is a T, so that vehicles have failed to negotiate that T, and is at the very bottom of the hill. So, because of that, we have had 12 accidents in that very spot since 2021. Out of those accidents, 21 people have been disabled because of injuries, and we've lost 4. Some of them were even students. I talked to Ministry of Works at that time, but they have not done anything. Can I request the Ministry of Works, please visit the place and see what is there. People are crying. The latest death was of a woman, a wife of a local government driver. She died about now 3 weeks ago because of in that very spot. The vehicle lost control because of the hump and then threw all of them down and 2 people died. So, Mr. Minister, please consider my request.
Honorable Mudimi, then Honorable Ruth.